Well, Sunday night I went and watched Stabbing Westward at Jurgles, which is a weird ass name, Rhythm Grill. And the place reminds me of a little place that was down in Fort Myers, Florida, called Orbit Nightclub. It kind of reminds me of that. I mean, it's a really nice place. I was shocked. It's little, it's tiny compared to a lot of the other places I've been to. And the sound system, for that size of venue, it's the best I've ever heard. I mean, it is, and I've been going to concerts since I was little. So with that being said, I've spent a lot of money going to clubs because those clubs were my favorite to go to. I've seen Static X and M, I've seen Union Underground, Verb Pipes I've seen in those little clubs. I've seen a lot of different bands over the years in them. And it was really good. I mean, really nice sound system. They took the time, they set everything up to where it sounded really good. So that was that. I was on the fence about Stabbing Westward because a lot of the bands nowadays are tracking their vocals, and it just, if I want to hear that bullshit, I'll just stay home and listen to the CD. I mean, fuck all that. Or come on stage like Mudvayne did and sound like straight garbage. Like, nope. Or Motley Crue, nope. So I was prepared to leave. I was ready. He come on, and for as long as the band's been out, you can tell he wasn't hitting the real high-ass notes. But I will say this, the guitarist picked up the slack to where unless you have a really, really good ear, you really didn't notice it. And I know the music really well, so I could tell a little bit. But for the most part, he did really good. I mean, I was impressed. Some of the new songs are alright. I listened to the album, the new album. I mean, it's alright. And then he played a few off the other ones, off Blister, Darkest Days, and Stabbing Westward too. I mean, it was a mixture of everything. It was, I think, 3 new songs, and the rest was off the older albums. But it was a really good show. It was about 2 hours, I think. I don't know who the hell they had opening for them. Never heard of them, and it just really don't want to either. It's not my cup of tea. Not my generation for one, and not really my cup of tea for two. But it is what it is. But I mean, they did really good. And one thing I was shocked, the 2 guys, I can't remember neither one of their fucking names, but they actually took the time and talked to 100 people after the show. I think there was maybe 150 people that came to the show. I mean, I expected this damn thing to be packed. I really did. But it wasn't, and I was cool with it. Because it was a better show, because it wasn't so crowded and everything else. But they stood there and talked and took pictures with everybody. And that was cool. They didn't do it in back in 2002 because they were doing a festival with 3 Doors Down in Fort Myers. So they just come on stage, and it was supposed to be their last tour too, so you know how that is when the band's kind of falling apart. And yeah, but this time, I mean, he talked to all of us, hung out with us for a little bit. I mean, it was really cool. Took a picture with everybody. Each person got to take pictures, sign, whatever. The only disappointing thing that was fucking a real disappointment to me, and fucking Apple is the cause of it with their goddamn Apple Music shit, was they didn't have CDs for sale. And I'm all about supporting the fucking bands. I'll tell you all day long. Buying a CD from a store for a fucking record company, fuck you. Now, if they bring CDs to their shows, that's their money. Hell yeah, I'll buy one right then and there. T-shirts, they only had one kind, and it wasn't really, the design was really garbage. And the other ones, they wasn't big enough. Yeah, that's what happens when you're a fat ass. They had mediums and smalls. But I would have bought, if it had been an extra large shirt, I'd have bought the extra large shirt of the other one. That way I could get them to sign it. But they were all black, and you really didn't have no white lettering nowhere. So there was that, and no CD, which kind of sucked. That's why I hadn't bought the new album yet, because I was waiting to catch them on tour so I could buy the CD there. And yes, call me a fucking dinosaur. If I'd have known now if I'd have knew then what I know now about physical media, there was a lot of shit I wouldn't have got rid of. I mean, I always figured I'd always be able to buy it, so I just got rid of them. I mean, I still have digital copies of them and some physical copies, but for the most part, I got rid of a lot of them because I was moving just different other things. But if I'd have known then what I know now, I wouldn't have sold not a goddamn one of them, because some of them are 20 years old anyway. But it is what it is. And, oh well, I'll try to catch them again, and I will make sure I have a CD this time. But go ahead, go check them out, listen to them. I mean, if you ain't never heard of them, which I'm sure people did, and a little side note, they mainly got popular because 9 Inch Nails quit for all those years. Trent just stopped. So that opened the door for them to be mainstream. Because of course Skinny Puppy wasn't going to be mainstream. And KMFDM was kind of in and out where I lived. So it's kind of in here. But they became mainstream, were popular where I lived because the 9 Inch Nails wasn't there. And I really like them. I mean, they're pretty cool. And my wife didn't get to see them because her ass decided to go to Alabama. So that was funny. I got to see them by myself. Ha.